Good Sunday evening, everybody. Welcome back here to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. My name is Hunter, and it is December 7th, 2025. We have several winter storms that are still expected to move across the United States, bringing heavy snow, a wintry mix, and heavy rain, and also a major Arctic blast that's going to give us the coldest air of the season thus far as we go into next weekend. We're going to get you all the latest information on your winter weather impacts out your door in this forecast. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as we keep you covered throughout the month of December and beyond on this upcoming weather pattern. So without further ado, let's look here at the snowfall to date. And wow, it's been an early start to winter for a large chunk of the United States. Where you see these pinks and purples are double-digit numbers of snow, and a lot of this snow is still on the ground across the mountains out west, into the Midwestern regions, parts of the Ohio Valley. The lake effect snow has been big this year, and New England, north and west of the I-95 corridor away from the Atlantic Ocean, has been very, very snowy as well so far this season. More snow is on the way. We have another winter storm that is moving across portions of the mid-Atlantic as we go into Monday morning commute. So if you are in eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, including the Appalachians, even the Smoky Mountains down there in northeast Tennessee, watching out for that in Virginia as well as parts of northern North Carolina, this could be a wet snow setup for you as we go through the day on Monday. Snow will start Monday morning and will continue through Monday evening before wrapping up. A clipper system will bring more snow to parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin going into Monday afternoon and evening with a few inches of snow there. And then a third snowstorm will move over similar areas of Minnesota, Wisconsin, getting into Michigan, parts of Ohio, and Pennsylvania as we go from Tuesday into Wednesday. And you guessed it, yes, a new winter storm taking shape in the Pacific Northwest by Wednesday. That'll bring some snow to the Rockies there into Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. So how much snow are we talking between now and 7 a.m. on Thursday, December 11th? Well, pretty heavy snow out here into Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and even parts of the Cascades here in Washington State. Feet of snow can be expected here, where we have several feet of snow expected in southwest Canada there in British Columbia and parts there of Alberta. And then the Clipper system track across the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, enhanced by some of the lake effect snow bands. And then New England will start to get more snow. And there's our mid-Atlantic snowstorm where we could see a general 1 to 3 inches worth into West Virginia, northern North Carolina. That'll take shape Monday morning going through Monday evening down in those areas. In fact, we do have winter weather advisories that have taken up residence there in West Virginia, and northern North Carolina for hazardous travel for snow-covered roads. Make sure to take it slow on the roadways as we go through your Monday. Notice the tan shade of colors up there in Montana, the Dakotas, parts of Wyoming, the Panhandle of Nebraska, northern Colorado. Those are high wind watches and warnings where we are gearing up for a wind event up there as we go here through the early portion of this week. Wind gusts could be very significant here into Montana and Wyoming, especially as we get into Tuesday morning. Wind gusts, especially in the higher elevations, could be over 70, 80 miles per hour. And then that will move into parts of the Midwest as we go into Tuesday night and Wednesday, and then parts of the Ohio Valley, Northeast, and Mid-Atlantic going into Wednesday afternoon and then into Thursday. So it's going to be a very windy week ahead, and wind gusts, again, in the higher elevations of the Pacific Northwest, the Northern Rockies, could be up to as high as 90 miles per hour. Mixing that with snow, visibility up in the higher elevations going to be very restricted. Hopefully you got your snow tires ready. And then across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley and the Northeast, wind gusts over 40 miles per hour at times here, off and on throughout the week, especially Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now let's look here at the cold weather, because those winds will be importing some very cold air into the United States. Look at this evening, fresh snowpack across the Midwest. Our temperature anomalies here in pink and purple around 32 degrees below normal for December 7th. And as we go through the week, that colder air going to be moving more into the Northeast as we go into Monday evening. So again, 35 degrees below normal of what we should see. And then here comes our big blast of cold air. Once we get towards Wednesday, Thursday, again, we have more those temperature anomalies, 40 degrees below normal there into parts of Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, and northern Illinois. And looking here at the stratosphere, we're going to look at the atmosphere from the top down. You look at the stratosphere, it's the layer above where we live. We live in the troposphere, and the stratospheric polar vortex by next weekend is going to definitely be linking up with the tropospheric polar vortex, in which we haven't seen so far this year. So that tells me that the coldest air of the season is on the way, and it is on the way in short order as we go into the weekend. In fact, here come the temperature anomalies that are significantly below normal. These are 55 degrees below normal here across the Midwest, upper Midwest, and the Ohio Valley by Saturday, December 13th. We go to Sunday, December 14th, and still looking at 45 degrees below normal for the Ohio Valley, into the Midwest and the Northeast parts of the Mid-Atlantic here. So this is some pretty cold air. And just to show that and verify that with you, here are the wind chills. This is the real feel as we go into Friday morning on this upcoming Friday, December 12th. Wind chills approaching 35 below zero into North Dakota as we go into that morning. So that could prompt some school delays or cancellations. And if that's not cold enough for you, look at here on Saturday, widespread 20 to 30 degrees below zero wind chills as far south as Iowa, into central and northern Illinois, into parts of northwest Indiana, but especially here in Minnesota and into Wisconsin, where those wind chills are going to be widespread, closer to 30 below zero. And then that'll continue even into Sunday morning. If you have any church services next Sunday, yeah, going to be a cold one. Want to bundle up with those wind chills around 20 degrees below zero. Now, we're going to continue to see the snow as the snow train continues beyond Thursday. So as we go into Friday, December 12th, we're going to see these clipper systems come down. Now, any snow we see with the cold air is going to be very dry, the powdery, fluffy snow, easy to move. So that's the good thing, but it could pile up very quickly here because of the cold air. We are going to be watching potentially an icy setup at times with this across the Great Lakes once we get into the following week. And again, it's a very active weather pattern taking us through the 19th of December. The GFS model, very similar. You get those northwest to southeast oriented clipper systems, bringing that dry, powdery, fluffy snow, a few inches here, a few inches there, and that'll take us as we go through the 19th of December. Now here's the European model. Again, very heavy snow, Pacific Northwest and across the southern Canadian prairies, British Columbia in particular, and Alberta, Canada, continue to feast off of the higher end totals. And then over here in the east, we have more of Ontario, Quebec getting a lot of snowfall in Canada. Now in the lower 48, besides the Pacific Northwest, we're looking at the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes for lake effect snow, induced snow there as well, and then New England as well, especially north and west of the I-95 corridor, the GFS model, and very good agreement with that as well. So here's the European model, and there is the GFS model. There's the national blend of models. It puts all the models together in one mean and output and gives you an average. And this is looking pretty good of what the pattern looks like going through the 18th and 19th of December, favoring the northern areas with the snow. Now, if you're sick and tired of the northern areas getting the cold and snow and you want snow further south, well, here's the pattern change for you. That's coming around Christmas and the new year. That tropospheric polar vortex is going nowhere. In fact, it may actually retrograde a little bit further west in southern Canada, where it's in eastern Canada right now. And look at the cold air source. It's right in our backyard. It's in southwestern Canada, moving into the northern United States. We got a little bit of some milder air down here to the south, but I will tell you that this is not going to be well above normal heat or anything like that. Yeah, Florida may be warm, South Texas, those typical areas, Arizona, New Mexico, but outside of that, I really don't see a lot of that colder air, and you can see that in a closer view. This is between the 20th and 27th of December, including Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Again, yes, the north will be very cold, in fact, dangerously cold at times with our wind chills well below zero, but the colder air will filter south with time, and as we go through into early January, I do feel that the colder air will stick around. Yes, it shows a warming trend. I don't buy it right now. I do feel that the first 10 days of January are actually going to be well below normal, but I do feel that at this point in early January, the colder air will also be out west versus just the colder north and eastern U.S. I think we're going to start to get some colder air further west once we get in the first 10 days of January. When that does occur, we're going to continue to see an active weather pattern, so winter storms will continue to be on the table, and with colder air out west as we go into early January, I do feel that we're going to start to see more heavy snows for the Sierra Mountain Range in California and feet, and central Rockies, more of Utah, Colorado versus versus just Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. And look at this, as we go into the middle of January, that snow line, folks, is going to be dropping well south, including New Mexico, much of Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, maybe even central Texas, folks, down here into Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, North Carolina. So a large chunk of the lower 48 will get in on the snow fun once we get to the middle portion of January. So there's a long time, I know, between now and the middle of January, but I promise you folks, winter is here and it will continue to be here for several weeks to come. So we're going to continue to track each and every winter storm for you. Make sure to like the video, share it, and subscribe to the YouTube channels. We keep you covered with the latest trends on the temperatures, precipitation, and all of those winter storms out there. You can follow me on Facebook for quick weather updates. The link for the description for that will be in the video. Also, it'll be pinned to the top of the comment section down below the video as well. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a comment down below. What do you think about this upcoming winter weather pattern? Are you a person who loves cold and snow, or are you more of a sunny, warm type of person? And if you had to pick a vacation spot for the winter, where would you go? Would you go to Florida? Would you go to Europe? Would you go to Spain? Would you stay here in the United States? Let me know where you'd go in the wintertime to warm up, or do you like the colder weather? Leave that in the comment section down below. I want to hear from you. Thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful, safe, and warm rest of your weekend out there.